News coming in, it is Donald Trump who's pardoned the participants of the Capitol Hill riot. Pardon of close to 1,500 people has been fulfilled. Donald Trump had promised to pardon all those people who helped him win. 1,500 people have now been given pardon. These are the people, those who participated in the riots that took place in the Capitol Hill. My colleague Rohit Sharma is still with me. Rohit, this was also something that Donald Trump had promised. He had said that all those people who stood by him, all those people will get a pardon, and that is something that he's working on. It was those images of riots in the Capitol Hill that had shocked the entire world. And now we are seeing close to 1,500 people who participated in those riots. Those people have been given a pardon.
Exactly, Ashwarya. I mean, I'm repeating myself. He's doing one after the other. He's talked about it on the campaign trail. He wanted to do it. These are the people that stood up for him. They went on the Capitol to actually fight for him to overturn that results of the 2020 elections. He said he was going to pardon them, and he ended up doing that. And it shouldn't come to anybody as a surprise. He'd always called them as victims. He said, they were persecuted. They were persecuted just because they were his supporters. And should not come to anybody as a surprise, and especially on a day when even Joe Biden ended up pardoning his extended family. So it's also becoming a day of pardon here in the U.S., where you had the outgoing president pardoning people close to him, and President Trump delivering on his promise of pardoning more than 1,000 people that were convicted for different acts on January 6th. Again, this will make his base very, very happy. And he is somebody, who always talked about his base and taking care of his people. And he's just delivered on another promise that he was talking about. So a big, big day, another big order that will probably surprise a lot of people. Not shock them, but surprise that how soon it came. And that this was already ready for him to sign. He just needed a moment to do it. And as soon as he got into the Oval Office, day one, he's delivered on yet another promise.
Delivering on yet another promise, that is something that a lot of people are now expecting President Donald Trump to do. And we have seen the signing of close to 78 executive orders immediately after he took oath, is saying that Donald Trump means business, and all those promises that he's made so far, Rohit, all those promises, he's making sure that all those promises, the things that he said while he was on campaign, he's making sure that he does all those things. Whether it will help the world at large, whether it will help Americans, Rohit, the verdict is still out. We will have to wait for some more time to see whether all this is just a lot of showmanship or whether this will actually help Americans, because that's the big question.
It is. And I think domestically, some of these things, like, for example, this is going to have immediate impact on Americans. People have to forfeit, for example, he said people should show up to work. Federal people should, and you have to be at work, otherwise you lose your job. That was one of the strategies they wanted to deploy to have people resign from federal jobs. The fact that he said there's going to be hiring freeze. You cannot hire any federal workers until they decide to, except for the military in this case. So that's going to have a direct impact on, a lot of American, and especially, again, a lot of contractors, who rely on government contracting jobs. The fact that he just pardoned January 6th people. The fact that he said there could be only two genders, the fact that he took America out of climate change, the fact that he's pulled the United States out of WHO. This is going to impact a lot of agencies that directly work with other, domestically and also internationally with their counterparts. So we'll have to wait and watch how this turns out. But he's definitely creating a big impact. And some of these orders, and I should tell you, Ashwarya, he had been working on this since the past 4 years. After he launched his campaign, remember, nobody's talking about Project 2025, but these were the same recommendations from that Project 2025 playbook that was written a year and a half ago by those at the Heritage Foundation. He distanced himself from Project 2025 during the campaign season. But look at day one today. He's gone back to the same playbook and is doing exactly the things that were recommended by Project 2025. So this has been vetted. People have reviewed these executive orders. They are ready for this to be challenged in the courts. And they also know for a fact that some of these will stay in court and they will win after all. And they're not going to back away from it.
Thank you, Rohit, for giving us those details. My colleague Rohit Sharma putting things in perspective. How the next 4 years will turn, the way the world is now very closely looking at what Donald Trump will do next. 78 orders have been signed within 24 hours of Donald Trump taking oath as the 47th President of the United States of America.